Hello and welcome back to HWR Reforged. Let's go to our squad and actually level them up. Oh yes, these guys are looking absolutely beastly. I really feel very bad for whoever has to fight them. Oh yes. Anyway, let's go into our inventory here. I actually haven't played the game for a few days. I gotta say, I feel really bad about that because I love this game, so I'd love to play more, but unfortunately, sometimes that just doesn't happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell, I guess I'm going to sell the Claymore. I don't have any, sword skill, basically. I have no sword skills whatsoever. So I'm just going to be selling everything here. Is this thing actually any good? Maybe it's kind of cool. Maybe it's kind of, what is, no, I'm actually using this right now. Yeah, I already have kind of this available, don't I? So we'll just get rid of that. We'll get rid of this. The old ring is just 10 strength. Don't really need that so much. And we're just going to keep the rest. I've got 16 inventory spaces, so it should be fine, right? Should be absolutely fine. We will buy some leather just to make some water skins, I suppose, but I don't know. Is it even necessary anymore? I barely even break a sweat when it comes to fatigue any further. So I'm not entirely sure. What about this? I'm already wearing these. Okay, so I don't need to worry about that. Let's go and craft a little bit. Where are these things? There we go. Nice, ×2. Oh, we got a lot of leather, actually. We got a lot. That's actually super insane. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. And now, let's go and speak to the sergeant. That's what we have to do. At last, you have a nasty habit of disappearing at the least appropriate moment. But I always come back. You do, one moment before the catastrophe. I see no reason to inquire about your journey when the Scots are right at our city's doorstep. You were supposed to find out where they are. At least we know that now. That's some high quality reconnaissance right there. Honestly, every time I go on another campaign, I promise myself that this time I'll be more careful, that I'll hang back and let others do the fighting. Yet for some bizarre reason, I always end up knee-deep in crap with my life hanging by a thread. And lately you always seem to be involved. I'm starting to see a pattern here. You're a dangerous man to be around, so critical. What can I say? Adventurer is my middle name. Not mine, though. I'm getting too old for this shit. Is that a Lethal Weapon reference? I'm giving you my word. If we somehow get out of this alive, I'm hanging up the sword. I've had enough close calls for a lifetime. Alright, let's get down to business. The Scots have approached the city from the northwest, down from the hills. Their exact numbers are still unclear, but it's probably around 8 to 10,000. So where the hell is our main force? About a week-long march from here. Since our departure, those oafs have barely covered any ground. The roads, they say, are awfully bad. I knew that one of us had to stay behind to keep an eye on them. We basically have to last a week under siege? Sounds doable. Only if the city is actually prepared for the siege and York is not entirely ready, to put it mildly. I see. How bad is it? Somewhere between very bad and awfully bad. Whatever provisions that remain have already been exhausted by the refugees. On top of that, the garrison is rather tiny. Mustering an effective fighting force is not possible. If the Scots attempt a direct assault, then, well, my chances of living long enough to retire are pretty damn slim. It looks like we're in a rather difficult situation. We're deep in shit, a critical. What would Northampton do? Old man Jerome could find a way out of any situation. Damn, he'd outwit the devil himself if he had to. Mark my words. When one day we will all be burning in hell, it'll be Jerome who will be watching the cauldrons for the fiends. There is indeed a way out of any situation. We just have to think outside the box. Think outside the box, you say? Alright, listen here. There are two things we have to do. Find out what the Scots are planning and win some time. Both of them can be accomplished in one step. Negotiations? Exactly. You're a respectable person now, Viscount and everything, so go for it. Go to the Scottish camp with a white flag. Talk to them, find out what they're after, discuss the terms of surrender and all that crap. And while you're talking, take a good old looks around. Act as if you already decided to surrender, but keep stalling for time. Where there's one meeting, there's always another. You can even go on a hunt together, etc. Hopefully it'll help us waste a week of their time. While you're busy smooth-talking them into oblivion, I'll work on the garrison and start building up some kind of militia force. Don't expect any miracles, though. We've got no one to count on, so critical. We're on our own now, you and I. Alright, here we go. Let's do this. Okay, so head out to the Scottish camp for negotiations. Well, that's the funny thing. I actually want to... I wouldn't mind training a little bit. Is that okay? Or do I have to do that straight away? I don't know. Let me actually just see here. So I'm going to go to the mayor's residence because I wouldn't mind speaking to Lena here. So Critical, you're back. I was awfully worried. I had this feeling that something terrible was about to happen. And of course it did. Bad premonitions are always like this. How's my father? Did you find him? Did the Scots reach the village? I found him. He is safe. It wasn't the Scots who were the menace, though. When I arrived in Eldon, the place was crawling with the mayor's men. They were led by that pal of his, Arthur de Rosamond or whatever his name is. They've arrested about a dozen or so of the villagers, including your father. Those people, according to Arthur, were quote-unquote criminals to be tried and executed. Oh Lord, this can't be. My father would never commit any crime. Indeed, it all seemed very suspicious. I tried to reason with Arthur, but, well, let's just say we didn't really see eye to eye. In any case, I freed Conrad and the rest. They're out of danger for now, if, of course, they were smart enough to get away from the Scots. Thank you so much. The relationship improved by 30. I am forever in your debt. What are we supposed to do now? Well, first of all, it is not safe for you to stay here. But where would I go? I don't have any other relatives or even money for that matter. Do you think I should go back to Eldon? No, definitely not there. The village is practically within arm's reach of the city, so it's only a matter of time before Scottish soldiers or foreigners show up there. Running into them is exactly the opposite of what you want to do. But where to, then? You need to flee... I have no idea. Flee the residence? For starters, you should probably relocate to an inn or something like that. It would be a lot safer than staying here. I only know Aunt Freya's inn in the old part of town. We buy food from them sometimes. I could stay there, I guess. I heard it's not the most expensive place, but I probably won't scrape together even that much. Don't worry about the money. I'm loaded. How much is it? I'm absolutely loaded in this playthrough. That's so funny. 50 florins should be more than enough for a couple of nights. I'm going to give 500. Here's the money. Don't waste any time. Grab your stuff and get out of the residence. I'll come find you as soon as I can. God, that's a fortune. I've never seen so much money in my life. I simply can't accept such a sum. Lena, don't waste your time on empty arguments and do what you're told. Your life depends on it. Thank you. I don't know why you're doing all of this for me, but I'll never forget your kindness. It's for waifu points. That's what we're doing it for. Relationship improved by 25. There we go. Alright, that's fantastic. Yeah, look at that. We're at 85 with her now, which is really nice. Okay, so now she is out of there, hopefully. I think, right? I think she's probably left. Yep, she has indeed left. So should I go to the Scottish camp right now, or should I train? Or I don't even know, because I can't even speak to her through the socializing menu. There is actually no way that I can speak to her now. So what I'm actually thinking of doing, can I increase anything else? Yeah, I can increase my strength, but there's no point in doing that when I might as well just increase my vitality. Okay, yeah, my time literally goes like no one's business in this particular chapter, so we're going to have to be pretty careful with it. Anyway, brandishing a white flag, you head to the Scottish camp to request a meeting with the leader of the army. You're escorted to a large, luxuriously furnished tent, where you're left alone, guarded by a few soldiers. 15 minutes later, just as your patience begins to wear thin, a young man clad in a master-crafted armor finally enters the tent. You're younger than I thought. When I was told that a royal negotiator had arrived from York, I thought I would be dealing with some old sly fox like Northampton or Canterbury. When it comes to dealing with London's northern problems, it's usually one of them who gets to sort things out. They are both retired. Is that so? Well, war is indeed young men's business. Old-timers don't belong on a battlefield. I was ready to prove this in practice, but they seem to have finally understood. Regardless, I'm glad to see a new face. Tell me your name and your title. My name is Sir Critical, Viscount of Hereford. As I've already stated, I have come here on the order of King Edward with full authorization to speak and act on his behalf. Happy to make your acquaintance, Sir Critical. You, of course, know who I am, right? Apparently we don't. My name is James Bruce, and I am the King of all Scots, from the River Esk in the south to the Orkney Islands in the north. There is not a single place where my name is not honoured and my word is not followed. Please forgive my rudeness, your majesty. Nonsense. Titles are needed to frighten the yokels and to restrain the servants who forget their place. On the battlefield there is no difference between an earl and a marquis, or between a baron and a viscount. Neither there is one between a king and a common soldier. In the moment of truth we are all equal in the eyes of our Lord. So let's put away the titles. You can call me James. What news are you bringing so critical? I am here to avoid bloodshed. Scottish forces have crossed our borders, bringing fire and sword to our lands. We don't know what caused this hostility, but it's not too late to resolve this misunderstanding at the negotiation table, rather than on the battlefield. I do not know what caused this hostility, you say. The English king would know the cause if he paid proper attention to the actions of his subjects. For many years now, people have been disappearing in our borderlands. At first, these were isolated cases. A hunter failing to return from the woods, a child losing their way in the Weald, or a courier disappearing in the mountains. However, in more recent times, entire families began to vanish without a trace. When rumors of the horror in these lands reached Edinburgh, we were at a loss as to what to make of it. The evil persisted, as unpunished as it was elusive, but eventually these villains became so bold that they began openly attacking villages in broad daylight, snatching up innocents and locking them in cages like wild animals to take them to a place from which they'd never return. Do you know what place I'm talking about, Sir Critical? I am talking about this very city. We've tracked down 2 parties of kidnappers. The first one managed to slip through our grasp. The second one was interrupted by my men near the border. One of the thugs was taken alive, Sir Critical. On his very first day of torture, he confessed that the abductions were ordered by the Mayor of York. I don't think there is need to explain what happened next. If the English crown is not capable of keeping its subjects under control, then we will have to do it instead. If this is true, then let us follow the dictates of the law. The mayor will be placed under arrest and taken to London, where he will confront the evidence against him. There are 10,000 men in this camp, Sir Critical. Among them are lords whose lands were pillaged on the mayor's orders, fathers whose children were kidnapped, brothers whose sisters were taken away. How do you think they will like this idea of yours? Do you think they will believe you? A fair trial will indeed take place, but it's taking place tomorrow. The assault on York will cost hundreds of lives on both sides. You came here to demand answers for the deaths of innocents, but instead of upholding justice, you now threaten to spill more innocent blood. You're still young, Sir Critical, though if the king sent you there, I suppose that you are a smart man. God as my witness, I don't want any blood, but you have to understand that it was your inaction that left me with no choice. My subjects demand decisiveness, and I am not going to let them down. Isn't there a way to save the city? Give me the mayor and all of his accomplices, every single one of them. Then perhaps we can work out a deal. I agree to these conditions, but you have to give me time. At least some. You've got time, Sir Critical. Until tomorrow morning. Okay, yeah, so we have basically no time whatsoever to train or do anything like that. So we just need to go. We just need to go straight up. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go to the inn to speak to Lena. How's your new place? Comfortable enough? It's all right, thank you. I really do feel a lot calmer here, maybe even safer. It's just weird to sit around doing nothing. I'm used to working dawn till dusk, but here I just sit and sit. Is there any news? The city is buzzing with rumors that some kind of negotiations with the Scots are taking place. Word has it that the city might be surrendered without a fight. The Scots have brought a huge army, and the troops sent by King Edward will need at least 1 more week to arrive. If the Scots attack, we have almost no chance of repelling them. Even if the city capitulates, a massacre might still be inevitable. They hunger for blood, primarily the mayor's, but they'll gladly spill any bodies. Judging by the expression on Lena's face, she does not seem to be quite following you. You briefly fill her in on your conversation with King James, including his accusations against the mayor. Perhaps I should not be saying this, but maybe we should just give them the mayor? If that will help save the city. But we don't even know for sure if he's guilty. Okay, okay, right. I'm gonna give you my opinion now before we actually continue the conversation. my opinion right now, I agree with Lena here. I agree with her, and I think that we should just give him. We should just give the mayor over. We've seen with our very own eyes that he and his associates are indeed kidnapping people, random people, in fact, even their own people, and they're putting them in the same exact cages that King James was talking about. And it's obvious that this guy is guilty. It must be. It literally must be him. There is nothing else to it. Anyway, we'll see what happens. As you can see, she's even talking about what we just saw. You saw yourself what happened in Eldom, the same kind of kidnapping that the Scots were talking about. Come to think of it, we've had our fair share of rumors about locals vanishing, while the prison continues to receive a steady stream of new criminals. It never crossed my mind that these could be connected until now. I remember being surprised at the number of people corralled by the guards. It was almost like a never-ending stream. But over time, everybody got used to seeing this, I guess. As Lena keeps speaking, one of her words becomes lodged in your mind, capturing all of your attention. The prison. The key to the puzzle from the very beginning. I mean, okay, no offense right now, but I kind of already surmised that, because that's exactly where the mayor was spending all of his time. If he's spending all of his time there, it must mean that that is an important location for him specifically. So I kind of already guessed that that was the case. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? But I guess. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Lena, what exactly do they keep in there? I mean, the prisoners in the dungeons on the lowest level. I don't know. I told you that they were regularly bringing new people in there, once a week at least, sometimes even more. These people were all said to be bandits, criminals, or some other scoundrels accused of witchcraft. These kinds of folks were always plentiful in the north. At some point, the mayor started to regularly visit the prison himself, usually with Mr. de Rosamond. It's time to find out who the hell they're hiding in there. Promise me you'll be careful. Promise that you'll come back alive. Well, if I don't, I'll reincarnate as the next idiot. I will do everything I can. I'm not one to pretend I know what the future holds, but one thing I can say for sure, I definitely won't die there. The king didn't grant me a fine estate in the south just for me to die in this godforsaken northern hole. Hey, watch it, it's my home that you're talking about. It is not a godforsaken hole in the slightest. There are countless beautiful places around here. How about the... Of course there are, and I would love to hear you tell me all about them the next time we meet. I'll be thinking about you every minute. No, okay, oh, there we go. Wow, look at that. We actually got a pretty spicy CG right there. Not bad at all. And we did actually get an achievement as well. So that's the perfect relation with her. That was actually really, really simple in comparison to some of the others. I think Emma is the most difficult so far that we've seen, but you just have to prepare really, really well for that to be you're not so much of an issue. You just need to prepare a lot of jewelry. That's it. That's usually what you need to do with her, at least. I mean, I obviously don't have the experience with it, but I'm going to assume that you need at least 3 to 4, maybe even 5 pieces of jewelry to make that work. But who knows? Here's something for you, a small parting gift. I may not be a countess or a duchess, but I've got my own perks. Come back, I'll be waiting. Alright, I actually think that CG was really, really good. Very high quality CG. I like that. That was probably maybe my favorite so far, actually. Maybe my favorite so far. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, yeah, so what we should do now is we should go to the prison. Let me actually just take a look. Find a way into the prison and uncover the identity of the prisoner held in the dungeon. What? Which prisoner held in the dungeon? Do we mean all the prisoners? Yeah, I guess so, right? All the prisoners. Even as you approach the prison, you notice plumes of smoke rising above its structure. Upon entering the courtyard, you see about half a dozen guards hauling out stacks of parchment and tossing them into a roaring bonfire. In response to your question, what's going on, the warden replies that shortly after the arrival of the Scots, they received an order from Signor de Rosamond to burn the archived records. Perplexed by such a decision, you wonder whether there was anything important within these documents. The warden shrugs his shoulders in response and points to a large pile of parchments nearby. He invites you to find out the answer to your question on your own. You take a few parchments from the stack at random and begin sifting through them. One of them is a report from about 2 years ago. It details the capture and subsequent detention of a dangerous band of robbers involved in kidnapping and ritual murder near the city. Signed beneath the report is Milton Dale, Jr., Captain of the Guard. Another parchment contains a detailed list of all those arrested, along with their names, origins, charges against them, and the dates of execution. According to the document, all those arrested were executed within a month of their capture. All but one. The last entry on the list had blank spots in the name and sentence fields. Returning to the stack of parchments on the ground, you retrieve another bundle to inspect. Among the papers lies a document detailing a guilty verdict against Milton Dale Jr., a former captain of the Guard. He was convicted of heresy, treason, and conspiracy to overthrow the city. His conviction resulted in a death sentence, which was carried out a year and a half ago. What do you bet that he's haunting it? Do you think he's haunting it? You find the contents of the archives fascinating, but you're too pressed for time to explore them further. Tossing the parchments aside, you ask the warden about the identity of the prisoner held on the lowest floor. After a long pause, he reluctantly replies that no one except the mayor and Signor de Rosamond knows this. The latter, incidentally, gave clear instructions to not let you in there again. In response, you make it even clearer that you intend to go down, with or without his permission. Seeing that there's no convincing you, the warden orders that you be allowed passage. Yeah, I mean, we're a dangerous individual. No one can stop us, right? Armed with a torch, you descend into the depths of the prison. The flight of stairs you traverse feel endless, and soon you lose count of their number. The journey downward takes considerably longer than you recall from your previous visit, but the stairs do come to an end eventually, bringing you to the same place as last time. In measured steps, you follow a long and narrow corridor flanked by rows of vacant cells until you come face to face with a massive iron-studded door secured with a thick bolt. You quickly unlock the door and make your way inside. Beneath the flickering flames of your torch lies a corpse. A skeletal figure, clad in rags, has breathed its last on the cell floor. Mayor Dale. Judging by the severe emaciation of his body, you infer that the mayor has been here for at least a few months, perhaps even longer. Much longer. Once again, answers slip through your grasp, leaving only intrigues in their wake. There exists only one place within the city where you might gain some clarity on the issue. The office of the mayor, of course, or whoever is impersonating him. Whoa. Okay, so he's literally not even... he's not even the mayor. That is not even the mayor. That the gates of his residence are closed, shut, only reinforces your conviction that you're on the right track, perhaps for the first time since your arrival in York. That's the good news. The bad news is that you have to enter the residence by force. Alright, so we're going to go straight on into a battle. That's interesting. Okay, so I am very much prepared. I don't need to worry about these guys. They are probably just going to end up getting themselves killed super easily. So I'm just going to go for the head here, or neck, whatever. And yeah, my guy is just going to absolutely wreck. He is so good right now. We don't even need to worry about him. Gonna hit this guy. Oh no, I was actually oh wow, we destroyed his shield in one go. This guy's gonna die from bleeding as well. I want to make sure I don't get hit, so I'm just going to regenerate a little bit of my stamina here. And then we're gonna go for a little bit of an overhead, or just go for the overhead, I guess. Yeah, you never know. Maybe you're gonna be able to get by the armor sometimes. And this time around we were able to. This guy's gonna die as well. Boom, he's dead. And that was easy and nice and done. Okay, so now we can actually loot some things. I actually will take the water skins over pretty much a lot of the other things because I have so much cash right now. I feel like I don't really need the loot. I could be wrong about that, of course, but I feel like I don't really need it. Killing everyone in your path and leaving a trail of corpses behind you, you finally arrive at the mayor's office. You kick down the door without hesitation. As usual, you find the mayor seated at his desk. A single candle casts dim light in the room, creating ugly shadows on his face. To the left of the mayor, nearly shrouded in darkness, stands Arthur. Once again, showing up at places uninvited. Didn't I warn you about what will happen when we meet again, Sir Critical? Ignoring Arthur, you address the mayor directly. I saw the prisoner that you're hiding. I know about the kidnappings and what caused the Scots to show up. Explain yourself. Otherwise, I'll deliver you to the Scots, dead or alive. You're too late for that. Oh, whoa. That was very creepy. That was extremely creepy. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I literally was not expecting that. Death is only the beginning. We are at the gates of hell, Sir Critical, and they are about to be opened. Who are you, and what have you done to the mayor? What is going on? You wouldn't understand. Not all things can be explained rationally, especially under this shallow concept that you call morality. Blood for its own sake, death for its own sake, gold for its own sake, erasing city after city until this deformed abomination that you call civilization descends into the primordial darkness from whence it came. You're insane. You think so? I can see it clear as day. There is something I can see too, Sir Critical. I can see that you're wearing the exact same mask, not of iron, but of decency, rules and norms of morality behind which you hide, all in an attempt to conceal a primitive thirst for blood, a desire to kill. Death follows in your wake. Oh, we do enjoy this kind of company. I've heard enough. In the name of the king, I sentence both of you to death. Death is only the beginning. Allow us to demonstrate. Okay, so who is the mayor? Who is this guy? Who is the mayor? He looks like he's wearing some kind of weird mask that is quite clearly causing him to bleed. Who is this? It says question mark, question mark. These guys have nothing on us. These guys have nothing on us whatsoever. This guy is literally going to die instantaneously. What? Oh, he cheated. Oh. He cheated. He cheated death. What is he doing right now? He has a bottomless bag and he literally just ate huge amounts of... Are you serious? Oh, dear. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting. Okay, let's go for the head. Yeah, he's gonna obviously he's got a bottomless bag, so you can't poison him. But I can kill him. Maybe? Yep, he's dead. Okay, so the other guy is me, basically. That's very interesting. That is actually very, very interesting. Okay, so this is going to be extremely difficult for me to do. I don't know whether I'm even going to be able to do it, but I need to hit him on his limb. Got him. Wow, we actually hit him. Can you believe it? Okay, so he has no items or anything like that. He's basically just dead. Yeah, I think he's basically just dead. He can't really do much. Unfortunately for me, I also cannot do much. He now has agility reduced by 20, which is obviously fantastic. And all we need to do is just keep our stamina high, deal with our fatigue and all that stuff, and this guy is going to wear himself out in no time. As you can see right there, we can literally just hit him on the neck, and he's dead. That was a nice critical as well. Okay, so he's dead now, so we just had to wait for him to... Huh. I assume we have to kill him a couple of times. Is that the case? I assume we have to kill him a couple of times, because otherwise I have no idea. I mean, how many times do I have to kill him? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we just have to kill him a couple of times. Okay, that is insane. That is actually very cool. I love the fact that they had like a horror kind of aspect going on here. I think that was really unexpected. Very fun, actually. Very fun to see that. And I really had no idea. I really had no idea that we were about to see something so creepy. So yeah, cool. I like that. I like it. Okay, let's continue onward. Having dealt with both, you try to remove the mask from the person, or rather the creature, posing as the mayor. The contraption refuses to give way, as if firmly glued to the face. In frustration, you use your dagger to carve off the mask, leaving what's left of his face completely unrecognizable. The mask, drenched in warm blood, turns out to be pleasantly weighty, repulsive at first glance. The mask now lying in your hands seems harmlessly ordinary, elegant even. Gazing into the viscous black void of its empty eye sockets, you do not notice the sun rising on the horizon. Only when the first rays of light break through the office window, caressing your face, do you take your eyes off the mask. As you peer outside of the window, you notice that the permanent rain and clouds have dispersed. Golden warmth now fills the room, but there's no time to bask in your triumph. A series of powerful blows rattles the city walls, causing the floor to tremble under your feet. As King James promised, the Scots have begun their assault at dawn. You think fast and hard, straining your brain to come up with a plan, or at least something remotely like it. What would Northampton do? What would King Edward suggest? What advice would the sergeant give? The answer to all these questions manifests as another earth-shattering barrage from enemy trebuchets. Realizing that there is no time to think or to get help, you resort to the only solution. Because there's no way to delay the assault or to repel it, the only thing left for you to do is to try to stop it in its tracks. There's only one person who can stop the attack, which means you have to get to him at any cost. Alright, so we now have to fight through the Scots. Is that true? Is that literally what we have to do right now? That's pretty crazy. Okay, so let's actually unequip a couple of things here, and then we're just going to be equipping some water skins, because you never know, maybe it's going to be useful. And we don't need the money, obviously. So here we go. Okay, let's do this. Climbing the ramparts, you gain a clear view of King James and his entourage. Positioned at the head of his forces under one of the siege towers, James, clad in his resplendent armor, seems unperturbed by the chaos unfolding around him. You deftly maneuver through the combatants and fallen bodies, slipping out of the city through a small side gate positioned at the flank of the Scottish king. Now within striking distance of the king, you tighten your grip around your weapon and charge forward. There is not even a remote chance of success in this suicidal enterprise. Your only hope is that the York militia can buy you enough time to break through the king's retinue. Are you serious right now? Are we going for a suicidal attack here? This is kind of weird. I'm not entirely sure why we would do that, to be honest, because we actually have, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, we just need to speak to him, right? We just need to speak to him because he's going to be more than willing to listen to what we have to say, I'm pretty sure, because he seems like a very smart individual, and so it's highly unlikely that he's going to just ignore the fact that there were literal cultists inside York, right? He's not going to ignore that. He's going to be, you know, well on top of that, right? Surely, right? Anyway, let's just hit this guy. He's going to be heavily toxic. There's no way he's going to get rid of that toxin, right? No, he's going to be dead in a moment. I'm just going to use respite a little bit here because obviously my fatigue is still a bit of an issue. So I'm just going to get rid of that a little bit. There we go. Okay, now we're just going to attack. This is a Scottish sergeant. Might be a problem. Nope, never mind. He's out of there too. And that's it. Yep. I don't really want to search more. I literally do not want to search more, but some of these things are kind of good, I guess, and I just don't want to miss out on anything really, really amazing. Having broken through the troops that rally to the king, you find yourself face to face with his personal retinue. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so this is obviously going to be a little bit more difficult. Going to use a first aid item on my guy right here. I'm going to use first aid, not going to use first aid. Going to use a water skin on him. And I may even want to use another water skin on him. I have a couple. Let's just use another one. There we go. He's literally now just winded 36. Okay, so that's absolutely fine. Let's now do some... Okay, let's now not do any damage, apparently. We're going to have to chop armor. We're going to have to chop armor quite a bit on that guy. This guy is not so bad, so we're just going to try and hit him a little bit. Yeah, as you can see. Okay. Oh, never mind. My guy is murdering. My guy is absolutely murdering, as you might have come to expect from Devilish Hugo. That's his name. Yeah, he's literally just doing the business right now. I can't believe it. Yeah, that's pretty insane. Okay, so we're just going to continue doing damage here. Yeah, he just killed that guy. That guy was going to be a problem for me. But for him, that was easy mode. Okay. Pretty nice. We got to be really, really careful though, because they do have crossbows apparently, so that's going to be a bit of an issue. Gonna miss here. That's kind of sad. Maybe we should go for... No, that's fine. Get him. There we go. He's dead now. Are we getting someone else? Nope. I think that's it. That's the end of it. Okay, so that's it. That's done. Enough. Stop killing my men. I understand that we are at war, Sir Critical, but you cannot just slay my knights as if they were filthy yokels. This kind of trick I might not forgive. This was a daring raid. I'm impressed. But if your intention was to kill me, then you should have come up with a better strategy. I'm not here to kill you, sire. I am here to accept your terms. Presenting the mask as evidence to support your assertions, you recount to James the events of the night before. The king listens to you intently. When you're done talking, he orders one of his men to go to the south gate and report on the progress of the assault. The messenger returns 15 minutes later, reporting that no significant progress has been made. Upon learning this, the king orders a retreat. Did you hear that? They say there's some unkillable berserk old fart throwing my soldiers off the wall, wreaking havoc. What the devil is going on there? Don't get me wrong, those are some yokels, so I couldn't care less about them, but considering how many of my men are dying, it is beginning to look concerning. Or maybe there's some kind of a sign. Fewer salaries to pay too, I suppose. At any rate, consider me convinced. We have a deal. Thank you, sire. But my previous offer was only valid until the beginning of the assault. You missed it, so the conditions will have to be revised. James points at the mask. We'll take all their bodies, that goes without saying. I'll hang them by the road as a reminder. We will also be taking the city's treasury. Don't even start arguing, that is not up for discussion. War is a costly business, and this campaign put a sizable hole in my pocket. Someone will have to cover my expenses. Furthermore, you will cede control over all your northern outposts. My men already hold about half of them anyway. I don't think they will like these terms in London, sire, but I'm not in a position to argue, am I? Be philosophical about it, Sir Critical. There is no black and white in politics. There is only the lesser evil and the common good. An ambition, of course, but that is a whole other story. You've been sent here to save the city, and save the city you did. You even managed to not lose your own life in the process. This is quite an achievement. And about the city treasury, tell them the mayor embezzled it. And? We have a fade out? And then we have a fade in? Did he really say that? A berserk old fart? His words exactly. This is a sad reality, I guess. You embark on your final campaign, risk your life for the 100th time, fight against guys who are half your age and twice as fit, and this is what you get. They're calling you a berserk old fart. Young people have no respect nowadays. I find that hilarious, actually. I'd take that as a compliment if I were you. Considering that you're about to retire, that berserk part might not apply soon. Guess what that will leave you with? In a couple of years, you'll be missing these days. Buy me another pint, and I'll pretend that I never heard that nonsense. Drink as much as you want. When it comes to my friends, I'm a generous man. Generous indeed. Gave away the entire city treasury to the Scots. Toasts to your health are probably being raised all over Scotland right now. You're grumbling like an old man. You didn't even officially retire yet, and somehow it's already changing you for the worse. I have a nice idea for your personal coat of arms, a fat and useless pelican. Want to know why? Because it looks just like you. To your health, my friend. After chugging another pint of ale, the sergeant wipes his moustache on his sleeve. Alright, it's all clear with me. My warring days are over, it's time to settle down and retire. But what about you? What's next for Sir Critical? Okay, so basically we can now decide to marry someone. For me personally, I actually like Lena quite a bit more than Alyssa, but they're both nice. I mean, clearly, every single one of the girls is designed to be, appealing to certain people. It would have been cool if we could have gotten perfect relationships with a bunch of others as well. But obviously, these are the ones that are currently accessible to this route. So I'm going to go for Lena. Well, there's this girl. Of course, I could have bloody guessed. After leaving the northern lands, you set off on a return trip. Heavy rains and cold weather give way to warm sunny skies, or sunny days even, making the return journey quick and comfortable. However, the warmth from the sun could not be compared with the warmth that the presence of Lena returning with you gave you. Having presented yourself in London before the king, you tell him about what happened in York. Despite the generally unfavorable outcome of events, Edward recognizes your merits and does not blame you for the loss of the city treasury or the loss of border territories. An unsuccessful campaign to the north, which did not bring glory to any of its participants, finally convinces Edward of the need to concentrate on solving numerous internal problems in the kingdom, which leads to several decades of peace. Finding yourself unclaimed, a person like you has no choice but to start arranging his personal life. Your and Lena's wedding becomes an intimate event with very few guests present. But, however, if one of the guests at your wedding is the king himself, then is it necessary to invite someone else? When, pronouncing vows of love and fidelity, you look into Lena's eyes, you realize that you have never seen her so happy and so beautiful. Completely unspoiled by money and accustomed to working hard for every piece of bread, Lena, only after many months, comes to terms with the fact that she is now the mistress of her own estate and the wife of a famous knight. But having settled into this new life, she quickly turns into a real lady whose manners, grace, and refined taste could be the envy of any born countess or duchesses. Together with her, you live a long and happy life, a worthy gift for the difficult path you have passed. The path from a rootless peasant to an eminent knight and keeper of the throne, whose name will forever remain in the history of the kingdom. Ending 10 of 19. There you go. We got ending 10, everyone. Oh yeah, I'm actually really pleased. Look at that. And we got well, it seems like a pretty rare achievement. Not many people have the Marry Lena achievement, as far as I could tell right there. I actually have no idea how many people have that. But we did it. And look at my overall score. Pretty crazy. And this guy started out really kind of weirdly because I was obviously using a spear, then I changed halfway to using an axe, and maybe that wasn't the best idea, but it seemed to work out pretty nicely. 12,000 total score right there, and we're done. And now we can see what level we're going to get. I mean, obviously we're going to get a pretty crazy one, in my opinion. We're probably going to at least make it to 1150. Yep, pretty easily in actual fact. Wow, it's even more crazy than I anticipated. Yeah, 1263. That is actually insane. So yeah, we can actually. Okay, so happy, I guess. I have no idea. I have no idea what to really call him. All right, so what are the other routes that we can do? What are the other routes that we can do? We can do the Maidstone route. Maybe the Maidstone route would be pretty fun. That's going to be a hard one, in my opinion. That might be a hard one, because here's the thing: we've done the noble route twice over now. We have done the mercenary route, but one of the times we kind of didn't have a very good time with Olivia. That didn't really work out too well. So the only other thing that we could potentially do is we could do the Maidstone route. Yeah, and that is making everyone really annoyed at us. So doing things that people don't like and failing all the quests and stuff like that. Basically just doing that is going to get us that, which is going to be fine. That's easy. I can do that. I can do that pretty easily. But yeah, apart from that, we could do the desert again. But the desert is pretty easy. But obviously if we want to get the achievement and we want to marry Emma, we could obviously do that. How many people have actually married Lena? 6.5%. Yep, 6.5% apparently of people that have played the game have that. Okay, so yeah, I guess we will go for the Maidstone route this time, which is going to be a bit of a difficult one in my opinion. I don't know what we're going to do. What are we going to do? What weapon are we going to use? What should I use? I feel like I should use the claymore this time. I feel like that sounds pretty fun because it has a pommel strike. I think that seems pretty cool. So yeah, but it doesn't have chop armor, which is the main thing that I was kind of really liking about the axe. Having chop armor is really fun. But let's actually see what happens here. What actually happens if I literally just go for maximum stats? Can I even get everything maximum? Can I get 25 in everything? Because I have so many points now, I should be able to get 25 in everything, right? If I can, then this is insane. I kind of do want to create a character that has crossbow skill as well, but I don't know whether I want to do that in this playthrough. Maybe we want to do the desert route with that again. Maybe that would be fun. I don't know. Let's go for this, get melee weapons. I could also get crossbow skill right now, and I could just get crossbows because we have the ability to get this insane mechanical crossbow right here, which is potentially cool, but it has a durability. I actually don't know what that means. So if anyone's played with the mechanical crossbow, by all means let me know what you think with the durability thing, because I have no idea what that means. You're going to need to repair it, I assume, but I don't know how that works. So I guess we'll see. But for now, that is going to be it for this episode, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Yeah, because Maidstone is waiting for us, I suppose. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.